If you're trying to sell AI automations or chatbots or random workflows and nobody is buying, then this video is for you. This is the video that's gonna flip the switch, because I just closed a $60,000 AI deal, and I'm gonna break down the exact steps that I used. The outreach, the call, the ROI math, and how I positioned myself as an operator instead of just another AI freelancer begging for work. The wild part is I never actually sold AI. I never even said the word automation. And that is exactly why it worked. See, businesses don't actually care about what tools that you use. Businesses care about the results that you get them. By the way, if you want a full breakdown of the AI operator model, I built a completely free masterclass that goes 10 times more in detail than I can actually fit into this video. So the link will be at the end. But stay with me here, because in a couple minutes, I'm gonna make this whole model click for you. Let me show you how this deal actually happened step by step. So step one is find an expensive problem. You cannot close big deals without big problems, period. Here's the operator criteria that I actually use. The problem must be expensive, minimum $100,000 to $200,000 in consequences. It must be quantifiable, easy to measure, and it must be budgeted, meaning they're already spending money on it. And it must be mission critical, so tied directly to revenue or margins. Now you might be asking, how do I find these clients? Look for businesses that are already spending $50,000 to $100,000 a year on sales, marketing, or operations. You can spot them by checking ad spend on Facebook ads, Instagram, or Google, or by looking at revenue ranges that support that level of investment. And you need to focus on companies with clear upside if you want to improve that metric. A SaaS firm that could boost conversion rates, an e-commerce brand that can cut acquisition costs, or an agency that can recover their margin leaks. Use LinkedIn Navigator to filter by size, revenue, or job titles, and target their decision makers directly. They are a mid-market B2B company, and they are running complex operational workflows. And here was their problem. They were not catching performance issues until they were too deep into their cycle, which is like way too late. And here is what it cost them. A 5 to 10% efficiency loss on their largest initiatives meant $150,000 to $300,000 burned per project. And they were running multiple projects a year. And this is what I call an expensive problem. If you can solve expensive problems, you get paid expensive money. And let me hammer home the real business impact here. Fixing late detection protects $600,000 to $1.2 million per year for these guys. It solves a real choke point in their operations. They already feel the pain every single day, and they're already losing money whether they hire us or not. And this sets the stage why a $60,000 deal makes sense. Because when you're protecting over $1 million in annual losses, $60,000 is a no-brainer. What this looks like across industries. So for agencies, revenue leakage from scope creep caught too late. For e-commerce, inventory inefficiencies are draining margin. Churn signals missed until after cancellation. For professional services, utilization gaps that kill profitability. And for operational teams, process bottlenecks that compound daily. The pattern is the exact same. So find money where it's bleeding, measure it, and then fix it. Step number two, let me contrast the wrong approach with the right approach, because this is where most people are losing their deals before they even get on a call. Here's what a beginner sends. Hey, I build AI automations for your agency. Instant delete. Nobody cares. This is what I sent. I found gaps in how performance metrics and operational triggers are being tracked in your workflows. I recorded a 2-minute breakdown showing how to catch issues earlier. Let me break down the psychology of why this works. It attacks the expensive problems directly, and it positions you as a diagnostician, not a vendor. It demonstrates that you understand their world before they even reply to you. There's zero mention of AI, zero friction, and a loom that creates instant credibility because it shows that you've already done the work. They replied to me, yeah, let's talk. Do you know why? Because my message wasn't a pitch. It was a competence signal. So this goes on to step three. Here's where the sales process takes over. This is critical. On a call, you are not going to be a salesperson. You are going to be a doctor diagnosing a patient. Phase one is diagnose. You asked targeted, money-focused questions. For example, what slips through the cracks right now? What slows your operations down the most? How early do you know that metrics are starting to drift? Where do problems hide the longest? You're not trying to sell anything here. You're trying to understand the leak. So phase 2 is quantify. Now you anchor the value with them. So I asked, if this issue is impacting your operation, what does it cost per project? They said $150,000 to $300,000. And then I asked, how many times does that happen a year? They said 4 or 5 times. So I did the math with them right there on the call. I actually recorded the call with Cluely. I very highly recommend you guys use Cluely. So this is what they said. So conservatively, $600,000 to $1.2 million a year. And then they agreed. Now they're selling themselves at this point. I didn't have to convince them of anything. The numbers did the work. Phase 3 is prescribe. You give them the simplest version of the solution. I said, we're going to detect issues at 20 to 25% progress instead of 50% or later. That alone will protect 7 figures of margin. Short, clear, outcome-based. And of course, still no mention of AI. Because to them, like, AI isn't value. The value is not in ChatGPT. It isn't automations, it isn't agents. The value is fewer surprises, earlier detection, predictable metrics, and less chaos. So step 4 is the offer sheet. Now you're going to introduce your clean operator offer using the 4-question framework. So question 1, who am I helping? Mid-market companies with complex operational workflows. Question 2, what problem am I solving? Late detection of performance issues that drain margin. Question 3, how expensive is it? $600,000 to $1.2 million per year in preventable losses. Question 4, how will I fulfill it? A detection system plus ongoing analysis plus actionable reporting. Here's what the offer includes: weekly performance reports, early warning alerts, a simple monitoring dashboard, integration with their current existing systems, complete hands-off service. Large companies like this do not want to be sold another software. They want done for you. And here's the guarantee that I gave them. If we can't find at least $100,000 in historical preventable losses, you don't pay a penny. And this is real risk reversal. Grounded in data, not hype. It's quantifiable, it's business first, and it positions you as an operator and not a vendor. So step 5, closing the deal. This is my favorite part. So here's the rule. Do not send proposals, close on the call. Why? Because by this point in the conversation, they know the return on investment. The pain is real. The solution is clear. You've measured the value with them and you've reversed the risk. So I said, implementation is $60,000. And then I stopped talking. Silence is the weapon. Let them process it. They responded with, makes sense. And then they move forward. Because when the math is obvious, the price, it becomes irrelevant. They were not buying AI. They were buying protection for a 7-figure problem. So step 6 is delivery. Let me walk you through the operator style delivery process, because this is where you prove the value. So during onboarding, I collected historical data. I mapped their workflows and I connected their systems. I interviewed their key stakeholders in leadership to understand how they actually operate. And then I built the system. Within weeks, the system caught issues months earlier than before. And that's when value becomes undeniable. They're not just getting reports, they are getting protection. And lastly, the close. This deal worked because the offer wasn't AI. It was outcomes. This is literally what I preach to you guys every day. If you want to close real AI deals, you need to stop selling tools and you need to start selling clarity. Sell predictability, sell margin protection. This is what AI operators do, and you can do the exact same thing. And if you want to go deeper into becoming an AI operator, not a chatbot builder, not an automation freelancer, but someone who solves very expensive problems for real businesses, then there is one thing you need to watch next. I built a completely for free 1-hour-long AI masterclass, teaching you how to become an AI operator like me. I show you my entire system, step by step, how to find expensive problems, diagnosing them like a consultant, building outcome-based AI solutions, and ultimately land $2,000 to $20,000 plus clients using the exact outreach frameworks that I'm using today. It is by far the most valuable training that I've ever released. But anyway, just click this video right here and I'm gonna walk you through the whole operator model from start to finish. I'll see you guys in the next one.